Happy Thursday, everybody. So I just realized I didn't post yesterday, and I promised you I would. So I apologize for that. I thought I did, but then I realized I didn't. Didn't even think about it. I don't know what happened. You know my memory. It's crazy. Been crazy. But I really hope that you all have a wonderful, wonderful 4-day weekend away from work with your families, or schoolwork, with your families, dyeing Easter eggs, celebrating Easter, eating some good food. Did I say dyeing Easter eggs? I don't know. Dyeing Easter eggs, making them into deviled eggs, one of my favorites. I talked to some of you earlier today, and we talked how the hard-boiled eggs, getting them peeled and getting the shell off the outside is the hardest part. Takes forever. So if you have an easy way of getting that all off of there, please let me know. Please let your friends know, because some of us are struggling out here. I don't know. I don't know why that's so hard. You'd think that we can fly to the moon, we're working on going to Mars, but we haven't figured out how to get the shells easily off of hard-boiled eggs. I don't know. Come up with an invention. You're going to be famous one day, because I guarantee you people all over the world are struggling with this. Oh, boy. Okay. Here we go. Evan's news. I wasn't going to call Evan and ask if I could come over, because I was pretty sure what he was going to say no. So instead, I found myself standing on his front stoop, ringing his bell. His mom answered the door. Arnold, what a nice surprise! She glanced around her and then pulled me inside. She motioned me to follow her in the kitchen. What are you doing here? She whispered. I came to see Evan. I'm sorry, I should have called. No, that's fine. She rubbed her hands together nervously. It's just that, well, today's kind of a big day. It is? For a second, my heart lifted as I thought she meant something good was about to happen, but then I saw the expression on her face, and I realized immediately that that wasn't the case. Is everything okay? Yes, well, it's better that I let Evan tell you. Mrs. Brantley walked to the edge of the stairs and called up, Evan, honey, Arnold is here to see you. We waited a few seconds, but there was silence. Arnold would very much like to say hi. Still nothing. Mrs. Brantley looked at me. Go on up, she whispered. Are you sure? Of course I'm sure. She smiled a bit sadly. He might not realize it, but he'll be very glad to see you. I walked up the stairs, not sure if I was doing the right thing. Why was I insisting on seeing Evan when he was going out of his way to not see me? I guess because we're friends, that's why. That's what friends do. The door to his room wasn't quite shut all the way. There was only a dim light shining through. I thought maybe he was trying to sleep. I knocked softly. Come in. I went into the room and saw Evan on his bed reading a book. He didn't look up. Hey, I said. Hey, he said. I sat down on the chair near his desk and waited for around a minute. It was one long minute. Then I said, So, I wanted to tell you that Sergeant Kelly from the territory, remember, she was the nice one you met? Anyway, Sergeant Kelly came to our house today, and she brought a letter from the commander. This guy, Commander Jensen, in the letter said that he wants us to go meet with him to discuss some exciting new things that are happening. And he wants us to go to his house and eat dinner and stuff, but I'm still pretty nervous about it, though, because the last time someone from the territory came to see me, I got tricked. It was a trick, and I almost got trapped back there forever, and so I don't think I want to go, but my parents think I should go, and I wanted to know what you thought since you're my best friend. Evan closed his book, looked up at me, and said, Oh no. Oh, this is so sad. He goes, I have cancer again. Oh no. How sad. You know how sometimes it feels like the air leaves a room and the walls are closing in and suddenly it's really hot and you can't breathe? Well, at that moment, I felt all of that except the can't breathe part. What? I said, because they were the only sounds that would come out of my mouth. I have cancer again. Evan swung his legs over the side of the bed, giving a little extra push to his prosthetic leg. He looked up at me for the first time. I have these regular checkups, and a few weeks ago I had this small bump on my hip, and they did tests on it, and last week the doctor told me that it was cancer. When they amputated my leg, they said they were hopeful that the cancer was gone for good, but that sometimes it spreads a little bit, and you don't find out until later, and I guess that's what happened. Why didn't you tell us? I managed to ask. I don't know. I guess I didn't feel like it. Evan had a new energy in his voice, almost like he was relieved that he'd finally told someone. It's like I feel different enough already with my leg, and a lot has been going on, and it was my birthday, and I guess I just didn't want to be like the guy who everyone feels sorry for again. I get that. I thought back to Evan sitting alone at lunch, and me thinking he was just grouchy about Kiki and Ross liking each other and throwing him that birthday party that went south really fast, and suddenly I had a heavy feeling in my chest. And I'm really sorry. Don't be. Evan gave me a reassuring pat on my knee. You were just trying to be a good friend, and I really appreciate that. The heaviness lifted a little bit. Cool. We sat there for a second, and then I asked, so what happens now? Well, now I have to deal with hospitals and tests and treatments and stuff. Today I found out what kind of treatment I'm going to get, and that I might lose my hair because of it. I didn't mind losing my hair when I was 3, but in the middle school, it's pretty much the worst thing ever. I had no idea what he was talking about in terms of losing his hair, but it didn't seem like the right time to ask. Well, I'm sure you know this already, but I'm happy to do whatever you need, and so are all your friends. I know, Evan said. I guess I'll tell the rest of the guys tonight. Now that I've talked about it, I feel better. I'm glad. He stood up. You want to go outside and shoot baskets? Sure! And just like that, we were friends again, but it wasn't the same. It couldn't be the same. Evan had a new battle to fight, and I wanted to be there to help him every step of the way. We shot baskets for a while. Well, to be more accurate, we shot at the basket, because I would say that about 7% of our shots went in. Then Evan said, what was it you were saying before, before I rudely interrupted you by saying I had cancer again? I didn't exactly feel like talking about myself at that moment. It felt a little selfish given the circumstances, but it seemed like Evan really wanted to know. Well, what I was saying was my family and I got a visit from Sergeant Kelly, and Commander Jensen wants to see us and tell us some exciting news, but I feel nervous about going because of what happened last time. Evan shot the ball and missed it as usual. I caught the rebound, shot, and missed as usual. Evan caught the rebound and threw the ball into the garage. That's enough of that. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. We sat in 2 chairs on his front lawn and both gazed up at the sky, which was a bright blue except for the occasional puffy white cloud. It was one of those perfect days except for what was actually going on in the world. I get why you're nervous, Evan said. But you always trusted Sergeant Kelly, right? Right. And Commander Jensen is the one who let you go back to your family, right? Right. Evan took a sip of the healthy green gloop his mom always made him drink. I think you should go. I was shocked. You do? Yes. It took me a few seconds to absorb his opinion, and a few seconds after that, I had an idea. Okay, I'll go, but you have to come with me. It was Evan's turn to be shocked. What are you talking about? Think about it. I turned to face him, squinting because of the bright sun. If you come with me, that will be like having an outside witness. They would never do anything with you there. Evan said, pondering. And I think your dad should come too. Then they'll never try any funny stuff. Evan's dad used to have Commander Jensen's job, but he'd become one of my fiercest protectors, so he wouldn't let them get away with anything. Evan got up out of his chair and mulled over what I'd said for a few seconds. Then he nodded. Sounds like a plan. Yes! I said. I got up out of my chair and we high-fived, but I saw Evan wince a little. Are you okay? Oh, yeah, absolutely. I guess I'm just a little tired, that's all. I get tired pretty easily these days. I suddenly felt embarrassed that I had taken up his time yapping about myself when he could be in his room resting. I'm really sorry I came over and bothered you with this. No, don't be. Evan stared up at the sky for a second, then looked back down at me. Remember what I said? I don't want anyone to feel sorry for me. I'm the same old annoying kid I've always been. Excellent. So I'll look forward to you being annoying in school tomorrow? Evan smiled for the first time that day. You can count on it. All right. Stop being so nice. Evan wasn't annoying at school the next day, though, because he's not an annoying person. And by lunch, pretty much everyone knew about the return of his cancer, but we all did our best not to show any pity for him or feel sorry for him. The only problem is that we kind of did the opposite. We showered him with affection and attention until it was a little ridiculous, especially at lunchtime. It started with Brett, who saw Evan come into the cafeteria and immediately ran up to him. Evan, dude, sit with us! Not that Evan had much of a choice, since Brett grabbed one arm and Ross grabbed the other arm, and they guided Evan to a seat between them. Do you need anything? Maybe some fish sticks or an ice cream sandwich? Ross asked. No, thanks, I'm good, Evan said. My mom doesn't let me eat that stuff anyway. Got it. Brett looked at Evan like a puppy who was eager to please. Your mom's so smart. It's really important to eat healthy. I need to get on that. Take it back a notch there, cowboy, said Kiki. But 2 seconds later she said, Evan, let me know if you need a fork or a spoon or anything. Then realizing how that sounded, she added, only because I'm going up there anyway. Of course you can get your own fork or knife or spoon even, and I'm in no way suggesting that you can't. Who's the cowboy now, cowboy? Brett said, smirking, and he had a good point. Evan, meanwhile, just kept drinking his green gloop with a slightly embarrassed smile on his face. Later on in gym, Coach Hank took things up a notch past Brett's notch. Evan! He bellowed. You're my captain! In fact, you're my captain for the rest of the year for every sport! But I don't want to be the captain for the rest of the year for any sport, Evan protested. Really? Coach Hank looked confused. But it's a perfect job for you, because you can't actually participate anymore. Yes, I can, Evan told him. I can definitely participate. In fact, I'm going to be the same horrible athlete I've always been. Okay, super! Coach Hank blasted his whistle. Everybody line up! Evan is going to lead calisthenics today. I am? You are! Evan sighed deeply. Okay, everyone, 20 jumping jacks. We'd love to, said half the class, while the other class said, yeah, you got it, Evan. We all did our jumping jacks, although mine were horrible and Evan's weren't much better. Okay, now everyone do 10 push-ups. Anything for you, Evan, said half the class, while the other half said, you're doing great job so far. And that was when Evan had had enough. He stopped mid-push-up, I think it was his second or third, and got to his feet. I just need to say something. The rest of us stopped our push-ups. Yes, I have cancer again, and yes, I'm really thankful that no one is looking at me with pity or feeling sorry for me or acting sad. Everyone nodded, feeling good about themselves. But, I have to say that everyone being extra nice and friendly is kind of almost as bad, meaning it's still treating me, I don't know, differently. What I really want is for everyone to just treat me like you always do. And with that, Evan got back on the floor and resumed his push-ups. No one was quite sure what to do or say, so we all just stood there, doing nothing. Finally, Ross raised his hand. Can I say something? He asked. Go ahead, barked Coach Hank. Ross pointed at Evan, who was struggling mightily on the gym floor. Those are absolutely the worst, most pathetic push-ups I have ever seen in my life. All the kids cracked up, especially Evan. And just like that, everything was back to normal. Almost. And I am going to stop there. Oh my goodness. Well, that was kind of a sad twist of events, and it's kind of sad that his cancer is back, but you know what? I think he's going to be good at fighting it, and I think he seems like he's pretty positive about that, and I think, a lot of people can relate to having family members or friends that have cancer, and so maybe if you have a chance, call those people up this week and tell them you're thinking about them and wish them happy Easter and hope that they're doing well. So I will be back tomorrow to read more to you. See you then.